Hello. Oh, hello. Okay. Hi. So, hopefully that wasn't too loud. Okay, so dissecting negativity as soon as you can in the morning. And we could put developing faith right in there. And why all this stuff is important. Why am I even saying all this in the first place? Well, let me tell you. So, dissecting negativity and developing faith in the morning. That's the title. Why is so important? So as the sun comes up, as the sun rises, what's gonna happen? You're gonna get all kinds of shit. What you gonna get? You're gonna get cortisol. Cortisol is what happens when, I call it the productive hormone. It's what gets you going, it's what gets you moving, it's what gives you anxiety. But if you have endorphins, it won't be anxiety. It'll just be you'll just be doing stuff because doing stuff gives you endorphins. So let's backtrack a little bit. What happens and what am I talking about? So, uh, in the morning, right? There's a lot of things that at least this is what it is. You're not moving. As soon as you wake up, you're not in a state of motion. You're not doing anything. And you're in complete stillness. In fact, your sense of consciousness wasn't even here yet. It wasn't. It just snapped back. You just got right here, right? So, in order for you, once again, back to the topic, right? In order for us to uh, abolish and completely destroy negative thought patterns and develop faith, right? You need to get moving. Now, this is new for me, nonetheless, still revolutionary. I used to just meditate in the morning, but now I move. Now I move. Now I pull out, pause, my yoga mat, and I lay it down and I start moving my toes. I start, I just start feeling myself. I start feeling my body. I start feeling my breath. I start feeling where I'm at. Now, in the morning, that's difficult because I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to go nowhere. Mind you, most of the times when I wake up, the sun ain't even fully out yet. It's just peeking. It's just, oh, hi, right? Nonetheless, that's the great way to do it, in my opinion. Because what you're doing right there is that you're getting moving. And when you start moving, you're moving with the sun. You're moving with it. So now all of a sudden, your cortisol level, like you have complete balance of cortisol and endorphins when you move and get moving in the morning as soon as you can. That's what happens. So, all right, cool. You get moving and you start feeling your endorphins and everything, right? Now, this is the part in my, like, personally, this is where I try to get to in the morning, and I promise you it is not that easy. Like, one of the biggest challenges I get is just I have to get past I have to get over the physical hump of like getting myself to do things or feel good doing stuff. So I'll tell you what that means. That sluggishness, that's like the biggest thing I try to get rid of in the morning. I try to get myself into the mindset of wanting to do difficult shit as soon as possible. It's a mindset, right? And so I made an episode about this, but I didn't upload it. Uh, in a nutshell, everything you want, like the stuff you really want in life, the stuff you really aspire to get and want, um, is probably going to take long and be very difficult. Period. It'll be very rewarding, but you're gonna get the first two. So you have to get into that mindset of wanting difficult challenges and being like you got to get into that mindset as soon as you can in the morning. Uh, period. You know what I'm saying? Because regardless of whatever goal you have, it's gonna take long and it's gonna be difficult. So you might as well lock in. You might as well strap your boots up and start saying, ow, I love the pain. Right? And so that's the whole abolishing negative emotion, right? It's understanding like, hey, You might not feel like you deserve all the good stuff you're getting. You might not feel like, whatever. You might not feel like moving or doing anything. You might actually feel like dog shit. But the fact that you saying, nah, I feel good, right? And you working on your mindset and you saying, yeah. Oh, this is the other half. So I'm a stop that topic real quick and go to the next. Uh, you gotta have tools to abolish the negativity, right? You gotta have tools. Tools, I would say, are uh one of my favorite ones is the cold shower. So in addition to moving and getting myself into that mindset of getting after it, uh the cold shower, what that does is it's a very offensive act to wash yourself with cold water. It's incredibly offensive. And so what that offensiveness does is it cleans. It takes away. I mean, it's cold. It's horrible. I don't like to do it every time, but I do it, and it makes me. It just once I can relax into it, what then all of a sudden happens is the nervous, like my nervous. I feel like this is how I regulate my nervous system. I'm gonna be real with you, like it is. It's how I regulate my nervous system. It's how I keep myself calm. Cold showers. You gotta relax into the cold, relax into that, and it helps you relax emotionally when you're going through challenges. All right, next. I've spoken about B, the protocol B, breathe and believe. It's a protocol I use when I'm still and also when I'm active. Uh, this protocol, what it basically does, and the reason it helps against that negativity, is uh, it's a very still and passive way to get a hold of that negativity. Now, how do you do that? Prime example. When I'd like to do it after I'm done cooking. So when I'm cooking, I go ahead and I sit down on the couch. When I'm sitting down on the couch, what I'm doing is taking breaths out my mouth. I sit, I take breaths out my mouth, and I exhale, complete exhales, up to the point. And this is a cool fact, by the way. Um, at the end of your exhales, when you completely exhale, you can control and you can take control of that anxiety you might feel, right? And you can almost to a degree you can kind of give yourself that anxious feeling when you exhale fully, right? You exhale fully to the point where you're like, okay, this is it, and then you take a nice slow deep breath in through your nose, right? Now, how does this help with the negativity? So at that point where you feel where you get to feel yourself get anxious, you can feed yourself positivity. That makes sense. That makes sense. Feed yourself that positivity. So at the you get your out breath going, you fully exhale, and you tell yourself you are capable, you are loving and respected, and beautiful, and all kinds of great stuff come out of you, and you know, then you inhale and you relax. So not only is it relaxing you, but it's also you are using your awareness to feed yourself positive thoughts and positive stuff to go into your head, right? And get creative. Get creative. Like, the world is already filled with BS. You might as well give yourself some positive BS. I'm tall. I'm I could lift 1,000 pounds, right? Whatever. And just, you tell yourself everything, all the crazy stuff, and you feed yourself beautiful bullshit. And you do it by taking control of that negativity. You take control of that anxiety during your exhale, and then you breathe in that good stuff, those good thoughts, those amazing things. And you do that and you repeat that. Um that one probably amongst the most effective. I like to do it with a small book. Y'all already know. Little book gang. Uh Amazon $8. Um a 2-pack. Um, yeah, like that's the most effective. That genuinely is one of the most effective because it gives me control over my anxiety. Because I know, like, to a degree, I'm the one that gives myself. I by taking control of your anxiety, you're removing it from from something that's unknown and making it known. Man, that's some good stuff. That's some that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff. Now, next, next. Before I go next, adding to the last topic, you can write down extra point like on the little book. You could write down like if you don't, let's say you have a problem feeding that positivity into yourself with awareness, you could write it down. And so like I like to do both. I like to write it down, write down crazy good bullshit to myself, and then it goes in. Yeah. So uh next topic is the next tool is a walk and talk. Right. Now, this is amongst one of my favorites, but you've already done it mentally. You feed the good bullshit to yourself mentally. Now you gotta feed the good bullshit to yourself verbally outside. And not only that, it helps you get into a place where you talk and you're expressing yourself and you're saying stuff. A lot of times, the first time we ever speak is when somebody else speaks to us, right? Now, when you change it and you're the one that first speaks to yourself, what now all of a sudden happens is you've checked yourself. For one, you've checked yourself to see, how you feel, what's going on, anything that's, whatever it is. And then it's great. It's just fantastic to truly express yourself and say the stuff you want to say. And it's a walk where you just talk and you just get stuff out. You got to, um, and that helps a lot, man. That helps a lot. Like now, all of a sudden, when you answer in a phone call, you get something. You could say that stuff. You could answer the phone call with confidence and say whatever it is, you know. And you don't want to be afraid of like that's one of the truly I could definitely say one of the worst feelings is feeling anxious to answer the phone and not knowing what you're gonna tell the other person or whatever the case is. You don't need none of that. So the way you get out of that is by practicing developing harmony with yourself, developing that harmony with yourself. And then lastly, because I think I'm pretty sure that's the last tool, is you go ahead and you have to develop faith. Um Faith is incredibly important. You got to have faith in yourself, right? You got to have faith. You got to say I know I can, right? Believe in yourself. Believe in your abilities to get things done and your abilities to be harmonious and your abilities to be prosperous. You got to have faith, man. And it's like especially if you're going if life is like a rocket ship, not a rocket ship but like a roller coaster, you know what I mean? There's ups, there's downs, all kinds of stuff. So you got to have faith in yourself. You got to say, man, I believe in you, right? And it's in that belief that you create and you develop that you become more of who you are, right? And that's been a big topic in the channel so far, as like becoming more of who you are. That's a huge thing. That's a very important thing, right? um and you can do that by practicing and wrestling with these different parts of yourself, right? Speaking, I'm doing this on the podcast right now, but I love, like, genuinely, I'm sitting on a cajon right now. I love doing the cajon. um I gotta show this to you. It's so cool. It's so cool. It has like lightning strikes and everything on it. It's the best, right? And then you got the other thing, which is like singing, right? You gotta become comprehensive, man. Like, and that's one of the best things I've personally seen with myself is my ability to be comprehensive, my ability to be harmonious, adapt emotionally, physically, and mentally to any circumstance that comes my way. And that has helped me the most. Having faith in my own abilities to do that, having faith in my own abilities to maneuver and to groove in different ways, right? and that only comes with practice. And so a lot of what the morning consists of is getting into that practice. Practicing, oh, the shower, that's getting you, practicing your emotional, getting you emotionally diligent, right? Anti-fragility emotionally, right? In the yoga with the calisthenics in the morning, anti-fragility physically, right? The uh the affirmations and feeding yourself positive BS, anti-fragility when it comes to your mental, right? So that whole concept of anti-fragility helps when it comes to a day-to-day basis where, yes, uh every single day is met with challenges. And if you have goals, good luck. Those are more challenges, and they're all going to be difficult. And you just got to have a good attitude to get through it and get past it. And one of the best things you could use to really help root and ground this stuff is develop anti fragility. It's the best thing, right? Um, yeah, yeah. This gonna be I'm definitely gonna talk a lot more about anti fragility in the podcast because this is important, like hands down, and it's helped me the most to feel confident. Because whether by having that anti fragility, sometimes whether I believe in myself or not, that I'm making it happen. I'm making stuff happen just because I have that strength. I have the extra strength that I didn't even know I had developed during my moments of anti fragility. And when you get older, shoot, you're gonna still look young. So you have to develop an anti-fragilic mind, body, and spirit when it comes to everything. Everything, man. Um, yeah. And that's just gonna help you, man. Praying, having that belief in yourself, that's everything. That's everything as well, man. Like, and so I'm gonna wrap up the episode with that. How many minutes we in? 16 minutes, not bad. Not bad. Shoot. um, thank you for watching this hoodie. The hoodie is now available. Yes, it is warm, but I ran with this thing in the morning. I ran with this and I was sweating. Yes, I got home. I was dripping. Pause. On the back, the symbol for awareness, right? Stay focused, remain centered. This is a hoodie. And I'm starting to put this thing on as soon as I wake up in the morning. And I've realized one of the biggest challenges of getting out of bed is the fact that it's cold, hands down, and it's weird. But I put this on, I'm not cold, and I get to do my movement in the morning. I meditate, get one of these, and make that easier. Two, shoot me a call. Mentorship down below. If you have a goal, creative goal, or you're looking to start a new craft, or you're looking to develop a new skill that's creative, writing, singing, beating the drum, whatever you beat, pause, shoot me a call. A link will be down below. You can sign up for that. Y'all. That being said, if you got anything from today's episode, please, please, please leave a like. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.